everybody. Welcome. This is Rainy Day, fourth generation psychic medium coming to you live from my sacred space. I'm so glad that you are here because I can't wait to introduce you to an incredibly talented medium. You're going to learn more about her, and she's already picking up somebody from my side. I think I know who it is. So I'm really excited to share this with you all. So welcome. I want to introduce Christy. Say hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's such a blessing to be here. My name is Christy Godwin. I'm a psychic medium. I'm kind of started this game later in life, but lots of training, lots of practice, and it's just such a passion for me, such a mission.
It is, isn't it? It's a calling.
It's amazing the healing that you see in people. And when you're in readings, you can just the other day, I had someone brought through the grandmother. So we're talking, chit-chatting about the grandmother, and then the grandmother said something about a son. So I asked the lady that was sitting with me, I said, "Do you have a son?" And she instantly started crying, and you knew that's what that meeting was going to be about.
And that's what I love about what we do is we affect immediate change.
Yes.
Immediate change. And I've always been this way. This beautiful lady that you see back here is my grandmother. I'm a fourth generation psychic medium. I was one of those people, and James Van Praagh talks about this a lot. That movie, The Sixth Sense, I always see dead people. And, you know, I know that you have trained very, very methodically in doing this, and it's like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it doesn't just pop through. And there's, times in our lives where life catches up, but it is so incredible to see the metamorphosis immediately right in front of you.
It is. And, I did not see people growing up. I did have voices in my head, which sometimes I really did think I was crazy. But I grew up in a, not what you would call a very nurturing household. And so that voice really saved me. I could be reading and all of a sudden that voice would be saying, "Go outside, go outside, go outside now." And so I learned to listen to it because it frequently protected me from rages or danger that was in my home.
So when is the first time that you actually thought, "Oh my gosh, this is somebody's departed loved one"? Can you tell us about that process?
I was young, probably about 6. And it was kind of I always felt weird because I had this very mature voice in my head that I knew was not mine. And it was feeding me thoughts that were I knew, more developed than what my brain was. And I always felt out of place because I grew up in a house where the outside looked very nice and normal, but the inside was very scary and not normal.
Oh.
And so this voice was always there protecting me. So I always felt like I didn't fit in because first, my house wasn't what people thought it was. And so you're always protecting the secret.
Yes.
And then you have this voice in your head who isn't yours, but you're not going to tell anyone because you think you're crazy.
And yeah, if you don't have that nurturing person, it can make you feel like you're crazy because then you start to doubt. I totally get that.
I really did. And so, through the years, as I became a teenager, you kind of shut it out. Got really busy, going to school and working full time, all those things. And fast forward to not too long ago, I was visiting a medium. I'd searched long and hard. I was really funny about who I would go to a reading for because I knew those people would be accessing my energy. I'm really careful about who I let into my energy. And so my friend kept saying, now she's my friend, "Why are you here? You can do this. Why are you here?" And so through her much nudging, I just started taking classes. And you're right, I learned a very methodical way of doing this.
So how do you connect? So for me, I don't use any divination tools. I've always just read energy. I feel it. There's times where I see spirit. It looks like a photograph, like a negative of a photograph. Sometimes I'll see outlines. Sometimes I don't see anything. I just feel it or know it. Or I'll smell like cigarettes or baked bread, that kind of thing. I'm very sensory. How do you connect with the departed? How do you connect to the other side? And walk us through your process, because I'm so interested in how people do what we do. We all do it so differently.
I know people hate this word, but
Say that again.
Meditate.
Oh, the art of listening.
Right. And, my household has gotten very busy with COVID. I have children that, were away at school, they're home, my husband's home a lot. And so the only place people leave me alone is on my treadmill. So I turned all of my meditations into walking meditations. So
That's beautiful. My best work is in the bathroom because nobody will bother you there.
um, so, you just meditate where you can, but you have to find that quiet spot. That's where your guides connect to you. That's where they give you information. And a lot of people ask me, was that my guide? Was that, if it's positive and loving, even if it's correcting, because my guides correct me quite a bit. One of my guides is very, but she always has a loving feeling about her. And then before I come into any, like right before here, right, I'm surprised you didn't catch me with my eyes closed. And I'm really trying to surround every reading I go into with the love and light and healing that I think that should come out of all of them. That's what this is about. There is so much negativity in the world and so much depression.
Yes, especially now.
Yes.
We need to be that light, that kindness. I own spiritacademy.net, and it's a virtual spiritual center, basically. And our tagline is shine your light, because now more than ever, we need that. So you talk about your guides. Do you solely use your guides, and how does that work? Do you have more than one? What is your process? I
will use
excited.
Anything that spirit gives me. Of course, I am very careful about protection. So anything that connects with me has to come from the white light of God. That's nothing.
Oh, no. I get that, because I worked with a team, because I have been psychic my whole life. I worked just recently before COVID with 3 other souls, and we would go in, and people who thought that their home had some kind of an attachment. We don't go in and cleanse, but we'll show you how to do it to claim your own power back. And, as that light, if you don't protect yourself, before you know it, you're feeling depressed or angry, and that's not who you are. And trust me, as you turn on your light, and it's nothing to be afraid of, as you turn on your light and shine that light brighter, you need to do more protection. And that's just by filling the space with love and blessings, because those lower vibrations cannot live and survive in a higher vibrational field. So I'm really glad that you talk and preach the love and the light, and that you use God.
Oh, absolutely. And, before we came onto this Zoom meeting, I was, filling myself with white light of God surrounding us, and just really talking through that anyone who sees us or watches this will really feel our love and hopefully some kind of healing from it, because that's what this world needs right now. How I get messages from spirit is I get them always. It's just according to the spirit and, how they're wanting to connect to me. I will usually get some kind of little picture, but it's a third eye. I don't see things standing in front of me. It's in my head. And then they will download information to go along with that picture.
So can you give me an incident where you just had this beautiful, clear connection? Can you walk us through it, and, who came through, how they came through, and what the message was? I find that people are so fascinated with how and the whys and how we bring forth that energy. And I would love to hear that.
I'll give you a couple of them. One was just a few minutes ago. I was trying to get ready, and my girlfriend's daughter just got married yesterday. We were at the wedding. And she messaged me, can't find the bouquet. Where is it?
Oh.
Step back, and in my head, I saw this bouquet laying at the venue that they were at. And I was like, it's at the venue. And she said, will it be found? And I kind of tapped into this bouquet, and it's funny, but you can tap into inanimate objects. And I felt this bouquet was just waiting there to be found. And I said, yes, you're going to find it. It's over by the DJ stand next to a table, because I could see it. Someone had popped that picture into my mind's eye. And she texted me right before you answered. They found it at the venue.
Oh, gosh, don't you love that?
Another time is actually related to you. I was on the treadmill doing a meditation. I was thinking about our meeting and what might come of it. And Jophiel popped in. And I was really surprised. That's Archangel. Because I thought Shamiel was going to be around you, because every time I see you, I think of love. But
oh, thank you.
And so I was like, why are you here? Talk, because I'm in meditation. So I asked this Archangel, why are you here? And he said, because you were thinking about Rainey. and I'm with her. And
Oh,
so my next process is I question. I actually had a spirit from the other side calling me nosy the other day because if you tell me something, that just piques my curiosity. I want to know more. And so he started just downloading information about you. Can I share some of
oh,
it?
please. I'm excited. I
Okay.
love getting my own readings. I love it.
Yeah.
Bring it forth.
I don't normally have it written down, but because I was in meditation and this was yesterday, I wrote some of it down. He
Bravo.
really choose to see the beauty in things. And so when you use those words, you choose to see the beauty in things that piques my interest. Why do you choose? That means you used to not choose. And it wasn't that you didn't choose, it's just that you had gone through some tough times. And sometimes when we go through those tough times, we just keep getting beat down and beat down and beat down. And can I share everything?
Oh, everything. I'm an open book, love.
The visual he gave me was a person laying in mud, straight down, face down. Couldn't see anything, couldn't see any love and light. And then they showed me some, you turn in your head and you could see with an eye. And then you got up and you could see with both eyes. And it was a slow process of coming out of a tough time in your life. And you're like, I choose to be different. I choose every day to wake up and surround myself with love and light. It's so easy not to, but you're showing me that you choose to get out of bed. No matter what that day brings, you are going to choose to see the beauty in every situation.
I love that because I have to tell you, I have a master's degree also in clinical behavioral psychology that I use. And I tell people all the time who come to me for life and spiritual coaching help. And you're very right on. And I'm going to validate this because I tell people you have to fight for your happiness. Sometimes it's moment to moment, day by day. So you hit it right on.
And sometimes it is just minute by minute that you have to choose to look at the light because it's so easy and it's hard and it's a fight sometimes and a struggle and sometimes we don't want to. And that was very evident because when the head was being lifted up, sometimes it would almost lay back down and then you would lift it back up like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm fighting this day. I'm fighting for myself. I'm choosing to see beauty. I'm choosing to see love.
Oh,
And that's all we can do.
more, please.
After you finished, you started coming out of this bad period you had gone through. You realized that you just started having such a heart for changing people's lives and helping them help themselves.
Oh,
And it's the same thing with readings. Like we can't fix people. All we can do is give them the tools to help fix themselves. And that just became so clear to you, and it just became such a mission for you. And yes, you have a business that you run, and yes, you have a school that you get paid for. We all have bills to pay and things to do. But even if you were independently wealthy, you would choose to still help people.
100%.
Yes. Joviel just made that clear to me. And how he communicated, the energy I feel from an angel is different energy that I feel from a spirit. I can hear angels a little bit more clear. They don't typically show me a lot of pictures. They just do a lot of talking.
And I love that because what I love about angels is they will never cross your free will. And I love that you connected with Jophiel because between that, Metatron, and Michael, those three are the angels that I connect with all the time. And actually, I connected with Jophiel in New Orleans in a cathedral. I have to share with you just very quickly. It's one of the few times that I physically have seen an angel. And I hold space for people. I hold the space. And my friends were walking around doing their little thing, and I'm sitting in this cathedral just taking in the beauty of all of these Catholic deities, just gorgeous building. And out of my peripheral was this man with his arms up in praise. And right behind him was an angel holding his arms up like this. And of course, our human existence wants that knee-jerk reaction to look, but I know that I need to hold this energy. And it was Jophiel. And then the man sat down, and I thought, oh my gosh, that was the most incredible thing. I rarely have seen physically seeing angels. And then a song came on and the man stood up again. And I kind of slowly out of my peripheral turned to look. And in my mind's eye, asked Raphael, why are you not supporting his arms? And I love that you connected with this particular angel because this was just last year. He has been with me constantly. And Raphael said to me, Rainey, he didn't ask.
Yes.
And it was life changing. So I'm confirming that you're on the right path. Oh, you're awesome. Go, girl, go. More.
I used to not say a whole lot about the angels until recently. Just almost every reading I was bringing them through. One gentleman, he popped up and I was like, oh, you have Metatron with you. And he held up his hand and he was wearing a Metatron ring.
Oh my gosh. Don't you love that? Immediate.
Yes, because it's hard whenever you're feeling this angel, because if I bring through a relative, you can confirm that I have them. Just by me describing them, saying their personality, you can confirm it. Not a lot of people can confirm angels. And then I had a reading the other day where I told the lady, oh, you have Sandalphon around you. And she had done some artwork, and on the back of it, she had written Archangel Sandalphon.
Oh,
like a week
girl,
before.
you are so good.
I've gotten enough confirmations lately from the angels that, yes, I am.
We need more people like you who work with that beautiful angelic realm. Earlier, you said that I had somebody coming through.
Yes.
Is that still?
Yes, you have. Now, this is where for people that are, you kind of switch because it's different energy. So I was into this angel energy. I was tapping into him. So now I look to the left whenever I read people because that's where my spirits come to me. It's different for everyone. So if people aren't getting their spirits on the left, don't worry about it. They come differently.
Very good point. You're right. We're all different.
Yes, all different. So this lady comes through and just a lovely lady. She is very classy. She's presenting herself in a skirt, and I don't know if this is significant, but I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing because it's very clear to me. It's a skirt, but she has a little belt on with the skirt. And then a cute shirt. She is medium build, I would say. She has a very motherly energy. Is this your mother?
My mother is 1 foot in the spirit world and 1 foot in still, but she's preparing. But I think it's someone else. I'm not sure yet, but I think so.
Let me continue.
So this person was like a mother to me at a very prolific time in my life. So you're on the right track.
I'm so happy to be here. And she, for whatever reason, she just walked to her kitchen and she pulled some cookies out of the oven, which tells me that that's going to be significant for you, that I'm not sure if you used to make cookies with her or she would make cookies for you. And she is showing me that she is sitting down with you and she is so totally focused on you. I get the feeling that when you were around her, you were her world. Like she made you feel like you were her world. So many times when we are growing up, we don't feel we're just a piece of furniture basically in the house. She looked at you, she felt you, she knew you. And you so appreciated that. She was like your light that you looked to. She gave me a picture of a lighthouse. She was your lighthouse.
So funny because she has come through to me and I'm creating an oracle card and I'll have to send you that picture, I swear to you. The back side, the main card is of a lighthouse.
That is amazing. I was like, what is this lighthouse about? Well,
it's kind of like finding your compass in a storm, finding that point in a storm.
With your lighthouse.
She always would say that.
She is so, like when I feel into her, I just got chills. My heart got so big when, I said, well, tell me something about Rainey. She is so supportive of what you're doing. She so loves, like she is showing me that when you were little, smaller, that she knew there was something different about you.
Mm-hmm.
She's showing me that you always process things differently, that you were very thoughtful, and some of the things that would come out of your mouth were not equivalent to your age. they were showing that you would have processed some information from this world and come out with a very wise solution or a very thoughtful comeback to it. And that would make her stop and look. And she's showing me also that because you are so caring and empathetic and loving, that you had to learn to protect yourself. And this is probably some of what Jophiel was talking about. But that was your path. And because you learned to protect yourself, you now show it to others. And you didn't lose your love and your caring for others during this time. And she knew that you were going to do great things. Like, she knew your path was going to be to help others. And she gives me such a feeling of comfort and love when I'm channeling her. Like, I instantly became just more calm when I tapped into her. She just had that energy about her.
Very calming. And she would call me her little old soul. I believe it's my aunt. The oldest of my grandmothers.
After I was going to come back to that because I was so busy telling you what she was saying. After I said your mother and I came back to her, she quickly slipped into that message, and then she says, I'm her aunt, and then continued on with the message. And she says that they're gathering for your mother.
Yes. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel it, the time is coming.
Yes. And normally I would not give that information in a reading, but because you've already mentioned it to me and you already know that yourself, and I feel free saying that they are gathering for her. And your mom feels them sometimes. Like, it feels like sometimes your mom is coherent and here, and other times she's kind of looking and she feels like she sees someone, but she's not really sure.
She even talks to Maxine, one of them. And when she did that, my stepfather, that's my stepfather's mother, and he knew, oh my gosh, she's preparing because my mother was speaking to Maxine, and I could feel it, but no one else could. I mean, I come from a long line of very psychically intuitive, empathically gifted women.
Your mom can definitely feel them and see them. And she's just showing how your mom is just preparing. It's giving her peace. Even though we talk to the other side, we know there is an afterlife. We know we go on. You know, passing away, it can be scary. And she's showing me that your mom is comfortable. Your mom's comforted by seeing them. And she's not scared.
No, because we were raised so differently. The death doesn't mean the ending. It's actually a beginning. And my grandmother would always tell us, my grandma Oz would always say, that death is always chasing you. And so you have to live in these moments, and you have to be present, and you have to show up, because this life is a gift. And, you know, my mother told me 1.5 years ago, very frankly, and you can feel I'm channeling. When I channel and I feel spirit, I turn red. She told me very frankly, Rainey, I'm dying. And I'm like, I know. And so you have this little discussion and agreement. Other people outside of us don't understand that, but to me, it's a very beautiful thing. And of course, you're going to experience that human part of you. But I'm so grateful to have this preparation where most people don't have that.
You know, sometimes we forget because we are so in this world. Sometimes we forget that there's so many people who are unfamiliar with it. And, you know, and I get it. If someone told me, you know what, I talked to your past loved ones who are passed away to the other side, I would not have believed them. Probably because in any profession, there are people who should not be doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
In our profession, it's the same. There are some absolutely people out there who might not should be doing it. And so we just have to overcome that. I do have to say the other day, the funniest reading I've had recently, it had been serious and then it kind of lightened up, and this gal's great uncle had come through and he died in Vietnam. Well, my interest is piqued. And I've always been called nosy with my family, so it kind of helps in this. Because once Spirit tells me something, really, how'd that happen? Why? What were you doing? And so I said, oh, you were in Vietnam. What happened? So he shows me flying in a helicopter. It's like, but you didn't pass away in the helicopter. Where did you die? And he showed me him on the battlefield. Did you die right away? And that's when he said, you're nosy.
But that's what we do is we ask.
Yes, and he said it in a very kind, laughing way. He wasn't mean about it. I have never, ever encountered a mean spirit. When they come through, you can tell if they were unkind in this world, and they will tell you some of the unkind things they did, but they're not unkind on the other side. I've never.
No, I feel they're transformed and they see the truth in many things. And there's no room for that up there. Up where, not up there, but there, wherever there is.
Right. This gentleman, after that, he said, you're nosy, but he said it in a very joking, laughing way. And then he proceeded me to tell me about his time on the battlefield. But I never get tired. The other day I did a reading for 2 hours and I had brought through 8 spirits. After that, I was a little tired.
Wow.
But typically I don't get tired. I just find it very energizing. I have met, I say wonderful people, spirit people, but I've learned so much and just so much peace.
So where do we find you? If someone wanted to book with you, if someone wanted to follow you, where would we find you? How could they book you?
I'm on Facebook, and in my my webpage is called the same thing. It's Christy, Christy, Godwin, Godwin, psychic medium.
Perfect. And I'll make sure that that's in our YouTube link. So those of you who want to connect with this beautifully, incredibly, I love your delivery because it's exactly what I needed to hear. It's exactly what people need to hear. So I'm thrilled that you decided to join me. I love that you shared that one spirit about Vietnam. What is the funniest, most outrageous, weird reading have you ever given? I'm always so interested.
Oh my goodness, there are so many. How could I pick one? I would say, I don't know if it was weird, but it was just so fun. I was doing a group reading with a family and I had 5 people. And they had me popping all over the place. There was mom, there was, this person. And then the spirits on the other side were almost having a party. How usually I get, mom came forward first. I was like, okay, mom, who's there with you? So then she brings someone forward. I was like, okay, who's with you? And then she brought grandma forward. And so that was a lot of fun because we had started at the current generation and we had just worked our way back. And the mom that was brought through at last was the mom of the grandfather that was sitting in there. So she was born.
Wow.
And so that was just so fun to get to read her and see what her life was like and how, part of her message to her son was that she was sorry that she felt like his life was lacking a little bit and he just couldn't connect. I said, well, she's saying y'all had a lot more money and then with you, they didn't. And it was true because the World War hit.
Ah, wow.
Her childhood was during the World War and she was so afraid that he would have seen what his siblings had gotten for all those years and, toys and things weren't available. And that was so fun to just go back so many generations and to see what it was like to live in those times and get a feel for it. I had another gentleman, and this one still, usually I forget readings quickly, because you kind of channel the information.
Yeah, and you have to disconnect because imagine if we carried all of that energy around with us everywhere we go.
And that was where I was going as I quickly learned, because this gentleman I carried with me for a long time. I was reading someone who was from England, and we had gone back. And the gentleman that came through was extremely unkind in this life. And I asked him why he was like that. And he put me on a battlefield, and there was bombs going off. And so as talking through this, he was one of the first POWs taken in World War II. And he a POW for the entire war. And so the feeling that he gave me, because that's another thing, is I get feelings from spirits. And so the feeling he gave me, that was a learning experience for me. I quickly had to learn because I couldn't shake it all day. It was devastating to me.
Mm.
So I had to learn quickly how to process and get rid of that feeling and to not carry those with me throughout the day. And so
that is one of the hardest things, I think. People who just discovered their abilities have a hard time sometimes disseminating between, is this mine or is this still that residual energy? I love that, because you have to disconnect. You have to.
Yes. And that gentleman was probably the one who gave me, I can't even describe the feeling and some of the scenes that he gave me, what he went through. And he, of course, was completely different. They didn't have PTSD research back then, but clearly he had it. And he was completely changed him. But I learned something from spirit or myself in almost every reading.
I love that, because that's a reminder that you never know what somebody is going through. So always be kind, because it wasn't who he was. It was kind of the circumstances. And unfortunately, during those times, you're right, they didn't have the professional team and the support to get through that. I have another question for you, because I'm always really interested to see how other mediums handle this. So when you're giving a reading, your clients have expectations, and that's okay. But there's times where who they want to come through don't come through, but it's someone else. Have you had that experience? And tell me what that felt like.
I'm going to knock on wood now, because I start my readings with, I will bring forward whoever comes forward. And at the end of the reading, if who you wanted to speak to has not come forward, I will try to bring them forward. I have never to this day not been able to bring someone forward.
Wow, that's amazing. That's incredible.
And so what happens is you tell me their name. And so I concentrate, and I've never not had a spirit step forward. Then we stop, because I don't want you telling me more about them. I give evidential information about them. You do tell me their name so I can call them forward. But then I will tell you how they dress, what they looked. I'm pretty good with personalities. That's where I can typically really peg people, is bringing forth their personalities.
Do you find that sometimes your words are different than what you normally would say, or do you get a dialect, or do your mannerisms change, or are you able to not allow their personality to fill what you're doing? How's that process for you?
My voice will typically change. I will get words that I would not use. I was like, what are they talking about? And the other day I only speak English. And so I was asking the person sitting with me, I said, do you know a Bella? And she said, no, I don't know. I said, this person keeps saying my Bella, my Bella. And she says, oh, that's my beauty. I was like, oh, okay. Well, there you go.
All righty then. Okay. Thank you.
That's what they had, that was a pet name, was my beauty to them.
Aww.
They were speaking in Spanish. My voice will change. I don't know if you noticed when I was talking to your aunt, my voice got a lot softer because I just had to.
And you felt a little more prim and proper, because
I did.
I could feel her.
Yes. She was not letting me speak any other way except in a very soft, kind, gentle manner.
Oh, that's awesome. I am so fortunate and feel so grateful. Thank you for this beautiful reading. I look forward to many more wonderful things coming from you. So tell us again, do you have any events coming up?
I don't. I have been very busy with some grandbabies. And so I have been doing a ton of readings. But as you know, events take time to put on. So I have events going on just because I've been spending a lot of time with the grandbabies. Readings, you can pop in. They're a lot faster to prepare for. But hopefully, as we start moving out of this COVID environment and things start opening up, hopefully we'll have some fun things to do.
So people can even book you for group readings?
Yes, they can. Absolutely. Yeah, I love group readings. They're so much fun because spirit, as you know, but I'll tell other people, they ride on each other's coattails. So once you connect to one spirit, you can more easily bring more forward because they're riding the energetic wave to you.
Exactly. So once again, tell us where we can find you to book with you. Can they book directly from your website, or do?
They can. They can. I just had my website revamped, so we're trying to work through some glitches on it, but they can book through there. And if there's an issue, just please email me, contact me. You can contact me through the website or at Christy Godwin 111. Don't you love those numbers?
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's Christy Godwin 111 at Gmail. It's also Christy Godwin Psychic Medium website and on the Facebook page.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, I look forward to many more beautiful things coming from you. I can't wait to see more of you. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to post all of her information in our YouTube page. She's beautiful. She's accurate. I love her delivery, and she just gives you that evidentiary evidence that you need, those identifiers, so that you know that she is truly connecting. She's an incredible medium. Thank you so much for joining me. I adore
So much
you.
for having me.
Have a
Thank
beautiful day,
you.
everybody. Check her out. She's amazing.